Yay! Hey everybody, welcome, and hope you've had a great day. Tonight we're going to talk about how to create space in your life for that thing that you really want to show up in your life. We're talking about getting your affairs in order so that you're open and ready for that thing that you want. Talking about getting into position to take your position in your life. Also sending a clear signal to life. Didn't think about that before, that you're ready and that you're available for what you really desire. And finally, slowing down to allow what you want to catch you. And so those are the things that we're going to talk about tonight. Actually practically applicably creating that space that you need in your life in order to make room for that thing that you want most. What's most important to you.
Because I think we're all dealing with that.
Yes.
You know, we have goals, we have things we want to do, but how do you make the time to make it happen? Because the day starts, and you start with this task and that task, and then you've got this appointment. Where does it fit in? At the end of the day, you haven't worked on your goal.
Right, and you end up being reactive instead of proactive, and you don't live very intentionally that way. Mm-hmm. And so this is another one of those ways of learning to live with intention, and you have to clear out space in order to be able to do that.
Right.
So, and it's tough to do because there's so many good things in life. There's so many great things in life, but we want those things to come to us that are the best things for us, or the things that we want the most. Not just everything, not just the good things. We want the best. And so, but we have to be intentional about creating space to have that happen. And that's just the way God created the universe to work that way. The laws of the universe work that way. There's only so much time, only so much space, and only so much energy that can take up a space. And so if there's something filling it, that's not what we want, then we've got to get that out of there in order to make space for what we do want.
So how do we get started on that? I've got my schedule filled in.
Yes.
What do I do?
Well, the first thing that you do is, and these are pretty simple steps, you guys, and this is going to sound like, oh my gosh, well, that's nothing really new, but these are also, despite the fact that they're very simple things and very easy, practical things, that they're also the very things that get overlooked in the busy days. And so these are the things that go out first when we've got to get rid of something. So the first way is to actually clean out the physical clutter in our lives. Clean off your desk. Clean out your office. Make a space on your desk so that when you come in the room, or when you go into that space, or when you're in your organize your home so that so that you're not spending 30 minutes when you get home, or when you are in a space or in a room, or when you get to your desk trying to get that organized, and then you get distracted. And then also that visual that you create when you have that space is going to just get your mind in a better place. You're going to it's a visual kind of analogy for your life. You know, if your space is cluttered, then you're going to allow clutter in your life. It's the same person doing all of it. Right. So if we're allowing clutter, physical clutter, then we're allowing clutter in our life in other ways. And so it's that deciding what's most important to you in every way in your life works the same. It works in the same way. So creating that visual for yourself is going to emotionally and mentally make you feel lighter. And then and you know, don't be overwhelmed with it. Start a little bit, do a little bit at a time, a little bit every day. Take 30 minutes a day, take 10 minutes a day, and then first of all, stop the bleeding. Stop making more clutter. That may be the first step, and then you can start to clean out the other clutter, and a little bit at a time. Start with what bothers you the most.
So do you schedule that time?
You can.
Or reminders?
You can schedule that time, and then what I like to do is just kind of build it in. Do that one extra step. Do that. Take the time initially to do it. And take, like today, and you might have to take it in little bits. Today I'm going to clean out this corner. Or tomorrow I'm going to just clean off my desk. And then I'm not going to add more things to it. So just start small. And that creates that visual.
I cleaned my desk last week and I found out it's glass.
Oh, Yeah, I don't think I've seen. I haven't seen my desk in a while, but I've got a good excuse for that. But anyway, I do know what it looks like, and it's gonna it's coming uncluttered tonight.
Great.
Actually, I do clean. I stay pretty good about that. So because I don't like clutter. I'm a thrower awayer. I don't.
It does get
don't
distracting.
like it. Yes, it's definitely. I like to be as efficient as possible, irritatingly so sometimes, especially the people that live with me. You know, they know I don't like anything extra sitting around. So, but yeah, it really does, and because it affects your efficiency, and so it's just a habit, you know, that we have to create. One of those reprogramming things that we have to do, create new habits. So
what's next?
well, what's next is, and I've mentioned this before, and it's do less of what drains you. Stop the bleeding. Do less of what is stealing your energy. Do less of what is taking up space in your calendar. Do less of what is taking up time for you. Just stop for just a moment and ask yourself, what am I doing in my life that feels heavy or burdensome? And that's the telltale sign of that's draining you. That's the heavy energy, the burdensome things that just are not, you're either not being called to do those things, or that's not your strengths or not your gifts, or it's just really something you don't like and it just weighs you down. So begin to realize what those things are, and after you identify them, then you can cut them, just start cutting them out. Little bit by little bit, just begin to do less of those things, and eventually if you become intentional about, okay, I'm going to start cutting that out, then it will build upon itself, and before long you'll be not having to do it anymore, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I've rid my life of that thing that was weighing me down. Or if it's something that you have to do, if it's a responsibility or an obligation or a duty or something like that, then see how you can either change your perspective about it, or get help with it, or make it easier in some way. What is making it so hard for you that it is draining you? And so that's a good reason to have a life coach, because I help people. A lot of times things just, if you can shift your perspective about them, it shifts everything. So, you know, I help people see things differently, and see things in their life differently. And a lot of the judgments that we make about them make them more draining than they really are.
Perception.
So, but yes, absolutely. Yeah. So that's number 2. Do less of what drains you or what feels heavy in your life. Yeah.
Go to Hawaii to pay your bills.
There you go.
Okay.
Wish we all could. That'd make everything better.
It would.
That'd make it all good. Oh, I think I'd do anything then. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Get it all done.
Yes, absolutely. All right, and then we learn to say no. That small little powerful word of no. And, you know, it feels really good to say yes to people, especially if you're a performer, an achiever, and you like people to be happy with you. It feels good to say yes. And if you're a giver, if you're a person, and a person who, you know, if you're around people that you love, that you really care about, that are, you know, that are giving to you, you like to say yes. We all want to be able to say yes, but sometimes saying yes hurts us, and it really actually is not doing that other person a whole lot of good either, because we're holding on to resentment, or we're not doing the job the best way that they really need it done, or giving to them in the way that they need us to give to them, because we just don't have the mental space or the physical energy or the capacity, the time in our schedule to be able to handle that. So starting to say no is actually really loving in a lot of ways. It's loving to you if you don't have that space, and it's loving to that other person. And so saying yes will make you feel better momentarily, but people are forgiving and they understand, and you're not, you know, responsible for the world, and you know, that took me a long time to understand. And it's important to really leave those spaces open in your schedule. Make that extra space, make that time, leave some time, leave some time for you in your schedule, so that you aren't just filling up every little second. And that requires some pretty intentional yeses and some pretty intentional nos, some clarity about what I'm going to say yes to and what I'm going to say no to, and then having the self-love and the love for other people, the compassion for other people, to actually say, no, I'm sorry, I'm not the best person to help you with that, or that's not a priority for me right now. And you don't have to say that, but you need to know that yourself. That's not fitting. That just doesn't fit into my schedule.
But I hate saying no.
We all do.
Of course, then if you say yes and you fail to deliver, then you're in this whole awful vortex of shame.
And that goes
yuck.
back into that. I love Brene Brown and her boundaries stuff, and you know that the most compassionate people are the most boundaried people, because it is actually very loving to say no, when to set that boundary when you can't give them everything that they need. You're going to let them down. You're not going to give them what they're looking for, and it's going to hurt you, and it just creates resentment. And so it's not benefiting anybody. So actually the most compassionate, loving thing often that we can do is say no.
I wish I knew how to say it in a nice way.
Yes. Well,
how do you say it in a nice way?
There's not. That's where we have to get rid of those judgments. You know, that no is a bad word.
Okay.
You know, that it's bad because I said no, or it's, you know, we don't go on, you can't always judge things based on, oh, that made me I feel guilty for that, so that was bad that I did that. We have to really get clear about, okay, what was best in that situation, and own our decision, and not make judgments about, I was bad, or I let that person down, so I feel guilty, or those kinds of things. Judgments will kill us.
Okay.
Yeah. And actually, you know what? We'll talk about judgments next week, speaking of.
Okay.
So we will talk about how judgments hurt us in our lives, and how getting those judgments out of the way is a really important part of healing and learning to live wholehearted, and learning to live from a healed, whole, empowered, fulfilled place. And so that's where we're headed. So
let's go.
Yeah.
Well, so
we'll do that next week.
I've learned to say no. Okay, let's say tomorrow I say no to 3 things I really don't have time for, and wouldn't do well with anyway because I don't have time for it. So I've got that time cleared up now.
Yes.
What do I do with it?
Well, you have to decide what you want the most. You clarify, and that's what we were a few weeks ago, you know, talking about clarifying your vision and what you really want in your life, and beginning to make that shift. So go back and watch those other videos that explain about making that shift in your life, and understanding, and how to get clear on, and the worksheets that are downloadable on Connie Jones Coaching. The worksheets that will help you take a look at how to know what it is that you really want for your life, and then how to know what to be able to do. What are the steps that you need to take in order to get more of that, or make more of that happen in your life, or draw more of that to you.
Right.
So whatever is on you live by your priorities. You live by what's most important to you. So in those spaces, you do the things that are going to take you closer to what you want. Yeah. So a much more enjoyable life to live in that place.
It would be.
Living that way, yes. But we forget that, and we get caught up in the demands of our lives, and then another day is down, and we're another day that we don't get to do. We don't get closer to what we really want, or to what's most important to us.
Right.
So we just have to make a decision that we're tired enough of living the life that is not ours. A life that doesn't match what my heart desires, you know, that doesn't align with my true self and who I am, and what feels good to me, or what is right for me. And when you get to the point where you're tired enough of that, you will do something different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You have to reach that breaking point.
yes, you do.
Yeah.
Definitely do. And everybody, that comes at a different place for everybody.
So you have more time for yourself.
And then so you have more time for yourself, and that's the what are we on the 4th point now? That spend more time with yourself is another way to begin to create space. And you know, yes, that takes time to spend time with yourself. However, you're what's important, and having that time with yourself to gain perspective, to step back from things, first of all, to nurture yourself, and to validate yourself, and to connect with you, and to connect with your spirituality, and to tap into your inner wisdom, but also spend time with you to refuel, and to play, and to do things that you love, and so that you are living in alignment with who you are, and you have to spend time with yourself to do that. It also, it really opens things up so that you can, if you're spending time with yourself, that's creating space there too, so that other people may be drawn to you, or so that you can take the time and you can realize those things that maybe you haven't seen before, or haven't known before, or you meet that new person, or you do something that you haven't done that you enjoy, or you have the energy to do something that hasn't been a priority for you, or you haven't been able to do, that really just speaks to your heart in some way. And so all of that is just building on getting you closer to what it is that you want.
Right.
Yeah. And then you create, in spending time with yourself, you create more space for others in the long run. It's amazing how that works. Yeah.
It kind of multiplies.
Yeah, it does. And that's the way energy works. When you're acknowledging yourself and you're honoring you, other like things are attracted to you. So, and they just come. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Got
And
to
then you
spend
tap
time
in
getting perspective.
Then you tap into the power too when you're at home in your body, and when you're present, then you see all that's around you, all the support and the love in the universe, as God created it that way, and all of the blessings that God has for us. We miss those things though when we don't take time for ourselves, when we don't take time to tap into that.
Right.
And so that's very valuable time, and very valuable space there in our calendars. So then what we're going to do is we're going to do something pretty literal. We're going to create our space around us. You're literally going to create a space in your home, create a special space for you in your in a room that's special to you. Create a space. I have my space outside at my home, and that's your space. That's your special place. So you really want to make the metaphor of creating a literal space for yourself. That space in your home or outside that just makes you happy. The place where you feel calm and peaceful. The place where you're not going to be bothered. The place where you connect to God. The place where you feel most alive. Whatever that space is, you want to just take the time to spend intentional time there, and decorate it with photos that make you smile. Put soothing colors in there. Put your favorite blanket or pillows, or comfy pillows. Make it your space so that you have that place that you can go, that you can enjoy, and that is just for you, where you can honor you.
I'm seeing camo. You probably weren't seeing camo.
No, definitely not.
Okay.
No, but I do love spending time in the
different.
woods.
Okay.
But yeah, what's that camo thing? Yeah. What's that about for you? Are you kidding?
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
You like camo?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I did not know that about you.
Yeah.
My goodness. Wow. So you would have a camo room?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
My goodness.
My son used to have a camo tent. Maybe I should find it.
I think you're missing your
I'll make it
calling
my
in the.
space.
I think you need to be. I think the woods are calling you.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They are.
I just go out to the woods. I don't need the camo.
Okay.
I just go out in the woods, and that's my safe space. But anyway, everybody, it's funny that everybody has their own, and that's okay. It's okay if it's bright orange, and if it's wherever that is, wherever you feel comfortable, that's your happy place. That's your space. So, and then finally, we'll meditate. That's a great way to create some space in your life. It's more about creating space in your mind and creating space in your heart. I call it, that's opening to your heart space. It's emptying your mind a lot of times and opening the flow of the Spirit, really creating space in your mind for wisdom to come, for beauty to come, for peace to come, for calm to come. However you see meditation. Sometimes people allow thoughts to, you practice the non-attachment form of meditation, where you allow your thoughts to flow out and you're not attached to any thought, and letting go of judgments is important in that, and recognizing judgments. But then also, I prefer to meditate sometimes like that, but most of the time allowing my head to stop and my brain to stop going and my thoughts to go. I don't leave myself open. I allow Spirit to come in, and that's where flow comes, and that's where that the peace and the calm and the oftentimes beautiful wisdom comes in those places. And sometimes it's just a comfort, and sometimes I really hear something, not audibly, but in my spirit. Right. And so however your meditation practice looks, but it is important to create that space in your life to touch base with yourself and with your higher power, your God, or just connect with the universe around you, and again, get perspective, but really just stop and allow what is there to be there, and allow the space to happen, and then see what's there for you. Right. What comes in that space? What is in alignment with who you are? What is drawn to you? What are the longing and what's the longing in your heart? What do you want more of? Where are you drawn to? Sometimes it's just sometimes you may just feel like, oh my gosh, I need more of that, or I'm just going to walk over there and hang in that space, and there may be some beauty in that space that is calling you that you would have missed if you had not taken that time to touch down and connect with yourself. Right. Or connect with God and that open space in your mind.
Truth and perspective come.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's beautiful. But it's sad that it's the first thing that we give up. Yeah, and I actually catch myself some mornings doing that, and I make myself stop, because I know that when those things get done, when my meditation gets done and my quiet time gets done, and I reflect a little bit and connect with myself and stop, then time expands, and somehow things line up in the day, and there's more space and more time, and I have more energy, and I am more intentional about the things that I'm doing in my day. And it's a beautiful thing versus me not taking the time, and my day is a very different day at that point. So
jumbled and
reactive,
and,
reactive and
feels
chaotic. Yes, absolutely. So every day there's peace, there's calm, there's space available to us. We just have to choose it. And that's the big key, is making those intentional choices about what we're going to allow into our life.
Excellent.
Yeah, and what's most important. So, I don't know if we have any questions from our viewers, and thank you for being here with us. And also, make sure you go on ConnieJonesCoaching.com and download the worksheet that goes along with tonight. There's a specific worksheet for every week that will help you tune in and do some personal work. It takes you a step further and gives you some specific exercises and some specific questions to ask yourself to go a little bit deeper than just our discussion every week. And so make sure you download those. You have to just sign up on our website on the resources page. And also the videos from previous weeks are listed on the resources page on the ConnieJonesCoaching.com website.
And now on YouTube.
And now on YouTube.
Search
so join
YouTube
us.
For Connie Jones Coaching.
Yes.
And there it is.
And there's a lot there for you. So we hope that you're enjoying these. And again, we'll come back next week and we'll talk about judgments and how judgments ruin us. They rob us of our life, and how to begin to get rid of judgments in your life that keep you stuck and pretty miserable and in shame and fear and all kinds of things that really aren't necessary for us to have in our lives.
I don't want to be stuck.
No.
I don't want to be miserable.
No more.
So can I come back?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Please do.
Thanks.
Yes. we kind of need you.
Okay, thanks.
So you feel better about
I
yourself
feel
now?
validated.
Good. All right. Well, you guys, thanks for coming again or joining us again. And we will see you next Thursday night at 7 p.m. to talk about those old ugly judgments.
We'll see you then.
All right.